So Andrew Berry, during that end of the year press conference, mentioned they can do what they need to do to get enough cap space to be active in free agent and do the things they want. Take a look at the free agents that Andrew Berry has added in his tenure as GM. So 2020, it was Conklin, Hooper, Case Keenum. These are the big names. 2021, Johnson, Hill, Clowney. So they went defense. 2022, a little bit of mix. Clowney, Brissett, Jakeem Grant, Taven Bryant. Last year, heavy defense. Tomlinson, Thornhill, Okunrankwu, and Akins, the tight end. Keep in mind they switched coordinators, something they're kind of doing on the offensive side. Here's the spending by year, though. And again, $126 million, $76 million, $52 million, $123 million. What that tells me is when Andrew Berry has seen the need, he's found a way to do what needs to be done. I'm guessing he's going to go to work on the offense. He went to work on the defense a season ago. The offense, I think, probably needs some attention. And we've been able to figure out the thinking a lot with Andrew Berry, and I would guess he's going offense.
Yeah, I think too on the defensive side of the ball, there aren't like a ton of questions for me, and it's interesting too. We were talking about this yesterday. I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but really like this year, financially for them isn't too bad. Like guys don't start making a ton of money really until like the following year. Like I'll use Dalvin Tomlinson. I know he's one of those guys as an example. He doesn't have a huge cap hit this upcoming year. Like on the defensive side of the ball, it's like, well, I don't know. Can we figure out a way to bring Jordan Elliott back? That like might actually be their biggest question since they already have given Grant Delpit a contract extension. I think Grant was really the biggest question on that side of the ball. Now maybe it's like Jordan Elliott, or are we going to bring Zadarius Smith back? Those kind of things. But yeah, I think it's interesting because it just seems like this team, the last couple of years, they haven't quite figured out their pass catchers, specifically their receivers. And I think obviously Amari Cooper might be one of the best moves Andrew Berry has made in his tenure here. It might be the best move. But besides Amari, it's like they haven't had anyone quite step up. And I'm curious, like maybe we'll get a jump from Elijah Moore. I think he really suffered because he was supposed to be this guy that clicked with Deshaun Watson and helped him do the things that he's really good at and improvising and that sort of stuff. And then Deshaun was hurt. So I'm curious what they think about Elijah, but I'd be really curious to see, hey, how are we going to handle these receivers in free agency? I think they should be aggressive. I don't think they should rely on a second or third round draft pick to really up production in that room outside of Amari Cooper, just because we haven't seen that work the last 2 years, right? Like we haven't seen David Bell or Cedric Tillman come in and totally blow people away to the point that, wow, this guy is definitely our number 2 receiver behind Amari. There's a learning curve there when you get out of the first round, especially. So I would like to see them be aggressive in that way. I definitely agree. I think there's more questions on the offensive side of the ball between the running back room. And like I mentioned earlier, what are you going to do with your offensive tackles? Would you potentially look to trade a Jedrick Wills? Would you look to part ways with Jack Conklin? Because ultimately, the takeaway for me is DeJuan Jones is a starting tackle in this league, point blank period. And right now, he's about as cheap as you can get a good starting offensive tackle because he's on a rookie deal and he was taken later in the draft. So that's, in theory, like a gold mine for this team and their cap space right now.
Yeah, and to your point, the only way he gets better is by playing and getting even more experience and getting to do the things that he needs to do in the run game.